Welcome to this short introduction to injury and illness prevention programs. In California, every employer is required by law to provide a safe and healthful workplace for employees. In order to accomplish this, Title 8 of the California Code of Regulations, Section 3203, requires employers to have a written injury and illness prevention program, or IIPP. An IIPP is the foundation of a safety program. There are 8 standard sections: responsibilities, compliance, communication, hazard assessment, accident investigation, hazard correction, training, and record keeping. The first section is responsibilities. Identify someone with the authority and responsibility for the program. This person must be knowledgeable about workplace safety and health issues and have management's full support in implementing the program. This section may also identify other roles and responsibilities for safety, such as supervisors, foremen, employees, and so on. The IIPP standard requires that employers establish a system or protocol for ensuring that employees follow the company's safety rules, and a disciplinary process for when those rules are violated. For example, many companies follow the 3-strike rule: a written warning, suspension, then termination. There should also be a method for providing positive recognition of employees who perform and follow safe and healthful work practices. Keep in mind, safety incentive programs must encourage employees to report unsafe acts or conditions, injuries, or illnesses. Communications must be in the language understood by employees. Communications can take place through meetings, postings, announcements, email notices, memos, newsletters, and committees. Employees should have a way to anonymously report hazards without fear of retaliation, such as a safety suggestion box. Be sure to document all communication efforts and save safety meeting and training sign-in sheets for at least 1 year. Cal OSHA requires that all employees have access to a copy of the IIPP by one of these 2 methods: through a company server or website that allows employees to review, print, or email a copy of the IIPP, or employees can request a paper or electronic copy of the IIPP from the appropriate department, like Health and Safety or Human Resources. A copy of the IIPP must be provided within 5 business days of receipt of the request. The goal of conducting a hazard assessment is to identify a hazard before an injury occurs. Workplaces with the strongest safety cultures make risk assessments and mitigating hazards a priority. Conduct risk assessments or inspections of your workplace on a regular basis. High-risk exposures require more frequent inspections. Involve employees. Don't rely on management alone to conduct inspections. Train all employees on how to identify hazards in their work environment. This will help increase awareness in their day-to-day activities. Perform a job hazard analysis, or JHA. The JHA allows you to identify all the basic steps of a job or task and identify where potential hazards may exist. Accident investigations describes how accidents or near misses will be investigated to find the root cause. Investigations should be conducted by a trained supervisor or manager, and whenever possible, include employees. Frontline workers can bring a unique perspective to why something happened. Whichever method you use to determine the root cause of the accident or near miss, it needs to answer these fundamental questions. What happened? How did it happen? Why did it happen? What needs to be corrected? And when will the correction be completed? Finding the underlying factors that may have contributed to an incident will help you prevent it from happening in the future. Once hazards are observed or discovered through an accident investigation or risk assessment, they should be addressed in a timely manner based on the severity of the hazard. However, if an imminent hazard exists and cannot be fixed right away without endangering employees or property, remove all exposed personnel from the area except those necessary to correct the hazardous condition. The hierarchy of controls describes 5 ways to eliminate or reduce risk. Start with the one that is most effective. Eliminate the hazardous material or process whenever possible. Substitute the hazardous material or process with one that is less hazardous. Implement engineering controls. A physical change such as installing barriers or distance will help protect employees from the hazardous condition. Administrative controls includes changes to procedures, training, warning signs, and labels. Administrative controls do not eliminate hazards, they only limit them or prevent exposure to them. Finally, personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as gloves, respirators, hard hats, and safety glasses, are the least effective means of controlling hazards. Training and instruction are an important part of any IIPP. Effective training helps workers learn their jobs well, reinforces good ideas and practices, brings new ideas, and jumpstarts your company's safety program. Regular training reminds employees that hazards exist and that no one is immune from accidents. Safety training should cover all relevant topics and reach all affected employees. Focus training on the identified hazards and conduct training when a new employee joins, a new assignment is given, or when new procedures or equipment are introduced. Remember to keep training interactive and include hands-on demonstrations whenever possible. If you are unable to conduct your own required trainings, you should reach out to an outside consultant, Cal/OSHA consultation, vendors, your insurance carrier, or your broker for assistance. During a Cal/OSHA inspection, they will review records to verify safety meetings, risk assessments, and training are being conducted. Workplaces must maintain a written IIPP and documentation of how the elements of their IIPP are carried out. These records will demonstrate the effectiveness of your overall program. Other record-keeping items are disciplinary actions, safety meeting records, safety inspections, accident investigations, employee safety training records, applicable operating permits when working with asbestos, lead, etc., and records of hazardous substances, such as safety data sheets.